Hi, I'm Thompson. I'm a dating and relationship coach, and I'm going to talk to you about 3 nice girl habits that we might not realize we're doing that actually turn off a masculine energy guy and stop him from committing to you and prioritizing you. Okay, so everything I speak about isn't about you bending yourself into a pretzel, trying to change yourself to be something just to get a man. I talk a lot about feminine and masculine energy, and feminine energy, it's about taking off the layers we've put on top of that feminine self, rather than trying to layer anything new on. You don't have to be anything else, okay? Before I jump into these 3 habits, subscribe to my channel. I love it when you subscribe, and do pop any questions in the chat below. So let's jump in to the first habit. Well, even before that, a masculine energy man wants to make you happy. He wants to know what you want. He wants to know what you don't want, and he wants to know how to make you happy. And often people talk about feminine energy being as like a passive go with the flow energy. And that can be misunderstood as an instruction to go with a guy's flow and not speak up for yourself. But nothing can be further from the truth. A woman in her strong, centered, feminine energy will clearly express to a man what she does want, what she doesn't want, what makes her happy. And a masculine energy man loves that because it's clear, and then he can win at making you happy. And a man wants to win. Masculine energy is naturally competitive. So he's going to want to win your heart. He is going to want to win at making you happy, and he's going to want to see your face light up in a smile. So these 3 good girl habits, now I can share these habits with you because I have done them all myself. Okay, the first one is not expressing what you want, and especially not expressing what you don't want. So we as women, and I've spoken about this before, can be too reasonable and agreeable. And they seem like good things, reasonableness and agreeableness, but they're not good for us when underneath we're stuffing down our real feelings. So assertiveness coupled with warmth is very attractive to a man and will make you feel strong. When you don't speak up for what you really want, the need and desire you have doesn't go away. So it kind of goes inside of you, that need, because it's not come out in your expression to him, and it starts to feel like resentment. And this resentful and this dissatisfied energy comes across in your vibe, and he can feel it. And most often he will believe that he's done something wrong, or that he just can't make you happy. And so many women, and this was me, they fear speaking up in relationships with men for fear of being abandoned. Fear of opening your heart and being vulnerable. So many women have said to me, I don't want to be vulnerable to a man because he might reject me. And then I've been all open. But it's actually your vulnerability and your willingness to speak up for what you want that raises your value in a man's eyes and makes a masculine energy man, a relationship-minded man, more likely to commit to you. So I want to share with you something that happened. I remember someone I was in a relationship with after my separation with my husband. And I remember bringing up something that I felt uncomfortable with, or something that I didn't want, or something that I wanted in our relationship. And I'd only recently started learning this sort of all this feminine energy work. And I shared with him how I felt. And he said to me, Nami, I love these conversations. You're so warm. And what was incredible is that I was talking about things that I wasn't happy with that he was doing. And I said to him, your wife would have felt the same feelings as me, his ex-wife. I said, your wife would have felt the same feelings that I'm feeling. She just didn't know how to express it. And nor did I when I was in my marriage. So it would come across as blaming, or that unsatisfied, resentful vibe would just be felt by the guy, rather than me just expressing my real feelings. So the second good girl habit is over-giving or over-functioning. So in dating, this can look like planning all the dates. Like it seems like you're not actually going to be meeting up with him or having dates with him unless you arrange them. Calling and messaging more than he calls and messages you. Cooking regularly for him. Now, there's nothing wrong with cooking for a guy, but it's making sure you are giving back. So his energy is coming towards you and then you are giving back to him. I'm just looking at my notes now. Being extra helpful. Like being extra helpful of, oh, how about you park here? Or I've got a really good idea about this. Suggesting the restaurants that you go to on your dates. Now, in relationships, this can look like you micromanage him. You manage his calendar, you manage his appointments with the doctor. It can be you booking the anniversary date, giving him advice. I'll put a link in the description below to my recent video called Why You Should Never Give a Man Advice. This will have so much info for you and help for you, because I just thought giving advice was helpful, but actually men really don't like it, especially masculine energy men. So a man will take the gifts you give him and he will enjoy them, but it will never make him want to prioritize you and commit to you in a wholehearted way. So I want to share a story. I was on a date with a guy back when I was dating, and we just got to talking about food as we were walking back from a restaurant. And I sort of playfully just said, so is food the way to your heart then? And he said, well, no, not really, he said, but I did have a girlfriend and she was a really, really, really good cook, and she used to just cook for me at her place all the time. And he said, she wasn't really right for me and it probably could have ended a lot earlier, but she was such a good cook and the sex was great. And inside, when I heard him say that, I just went, oh. He took the gifts she gave him, but it did not make him want to commit to her anymore, because she was being her cooking and so helpful and so sexy. That doesn't ignite that commitment urge in a man. The third good girl habit is elevating him up onto a pedestal. It's so easy to do this, especially when you really, really find a guy really attractive. He's gorgeous, he seems really interesting, and in the pool of men you've been meeting, suddenly he's like this, oh my God, he's so amazing. So what will happen when you elevate him onto a pedestal? It will make you want to work really hard to impress him. You'll find yourself putting his needs before your own. And so, for example, you will be bending yourself and changing all your schedule to fit in with him, rather than feeling like he is pursuing you. So this can make you feel that you're less than him. So then you'll be working really hard to get his attention and get his approval, and somehow he will always feel out of reach. And this will make you feel needy and anxious. So if you're feeling that way, I totally get you, darling. I've been there. And when you're feeling that way, you don't want to rock the boat, because you don't want him to abandon you. You don't want him to leave. So instead of these three things, what do we do instead? All of these habits are about working hard to get and keep his love and attention and devotion. So one of the most important pieces of advice I can give you is everything you are looking for in him or from him, first give to yourself. So if you are looking for attention from him, you can ask yourself, where am I not giving myself attention in my life? If you are desperate for affection from him, or affectionate words, loving words, then ask yourself, how lovingly do I speak to myself? Look in the mirror, give yourself some loving words, be your own cheerleader. if you are looking for fun and adventure and you know, the laughter in your life, it's like, where am I? How can I give that to myself? Can I book some comedy nights with some girlfriends? Go and do some things in my life that are fun. So how can you give yourself adoration? How can you give yourself love? And how can you commit to yourself in a regular way? And when you do that, your whole vibe will shift. Your whole vibe will shift, and your value in a guy's eyes just raises. And then the guys who aren't making any effort will fall away and you'll get bored of them. So I hope that's really helped, those 3 good girl habits that keep men away and what to do when instead. So please do subscribe to my channel. I'll pop a link in the description below to that other video, and loads of love to you.